Follow me. We shall crush them beneath us.
You probably heard the rain on the background. I normally would cut it out, but you know what? Let's make it a theme. Tell me something. This is about video game journalists versus the gaming community. I think the decline or the distrust with the video game journalists started at 2014, Gamergate 1. Now for other journalists or journalists in general, I don't know when it started. I mean, what about you guys? When is the last time you trust any journalist, whether it's video game journalists or any media outlet? Let's say CNN, Fox, MSNBC, Kotaku, whatever it is. Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna show you something before we react to Wagner Knows Why's video. Okay, this is AI Limit. Take a look at this critic reviews. 16. No user reviews. I'm probably certain it will be by the time, say, tomorrow, which I'm gonna be picking it up. And let me show you something that is very similar to this. Take a look at this. See the difference. 8 critic reviews, 143 user reviews. See the difference? Here, let me give you another example. Marvel Rivals. Despite mix and average. But take a look at this. 23 critics. It's favorable, but this one, and mostly this one, is much higher than Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. Ask yourself this. Why is that? It's because games like this, journalists will ignore it. Although I don't think this is a indie title, based on what I'm seeing on the trailer, it looked like a AAA. I don't know, I need to recheck this. I'm probably gonna play it. Let's check this.
With Assassin's Creed Shadows, where Assassin's Creed Shadows has numerous articles just praising the game for sidelining any Asian male character, for making this character a gigantic black Yasuke who was a mythical figure that everyone in Japan has to bow to and show respect to. And of course, that is establishing something that they want to see in gaming. They want to see the forced diversity. They want to see kind of the crumbling of the Japanese personal culture. And I think that's the thing that we see in actual reality when it comes to Japan, where everything is about stripping away the nationalism and focus on personal Japanese values in trade for global values that are more focused on multiculturalism. And I think this is furthering in that attack that we see against Japan, where it's about stripping out all the cultural elements of Japan, even when it comes down to the actual samurais that are in this game. I think that is the representation that we see right now, where Japan is being attacked by this cultural relative perspective that is trying to ingrain itself in the modern day Japan, where we see Japanese culture skewed and changed in different ways. And I think that's what Yasuke is as a vehicle, to skew and change the perspective on Japanese culture. And that's why we have these articles coming out praising this, saying this game is an amazing triumph, to saying it's representation of what we see in the past of Japan, these modern day values that should be present there, the non-binary characters, the big gigantic black gay male character, the lesbianism, everything is what they want to see in this game, and that they want to see representative of modern Japan. I think that's the thing that we get in the articles, where everyone is trying to have this representation that is of no relevance of that past era of Japan. Of course, people are going to say it's fantasy, but Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft said it wasn't fantasy. They would try to make this historical fact, and that's why I have to say that is just not something we can actually accept as.
That is quite true. Japanese people was uproar. Look, I think the problem is, the reason is, this is my assumption. Many of these Western AAA, they knew that the East is rising up. They knew that they're going to lose the relevancy and the power they have in the gaming industry. They continue to give slaps like this, and the Eastern video games, whether it's China, Japan, or South Korea, they're gonna continue to grow. And here, this one here from IGN says, let's not pretend we're mad at the new Assassin's Creed Shadows Samurai is an Asian, which, for the record, the whole of Japan despises Assassin's Creed Shadows until it reaches the national diet. And every shill will still say, at the end of the day, it's a game. Oh, no. Don't even say that. Murahar, Yongye, don't even give that bloody excuse. Game or not, culture is a different thing. I hate to keep bringing this up, but some idiots refuse to even look at it. They say to do your due diligence or something, yet they didn't know. Yongye or Murahar doesn't even know about Japanese players hating on it. They refuse to know. They didn't see it. They didn't check Shohei Kondo. I didn't even check any comments. They didn't reply to my comments.
Of course, people are going to say it's fantasy, but Assassin's Creed Shadows and Ubisoft said it wasn't fantasy. They would try to make this historical fact, and that's why I have to say that is just not something we can actually accept as. This is not the historical record of Japan, and I think that is the attempt that we're seeing right now, and that's why the praise is effervescent and never-ending for Assassin's Creed Shadows. And unfortunately, that's why we will never see praise for Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 is not trying to be a historical record. It's just supposed to be a dumb, fun action zombie game. And to have this level of scrutiny for this game because it simply just has African zombies is just reflective of the personal values of the people that are shaping the gaming industry. They don't care it's a fantasy, it's about monsters. They care about the perspective they want people to have about the characters and about the world in general. They don't want to see traditional storytelling made or remastered in such a way. And if it is, it has to be changed in their specific way. So I think for them, a remaster of this game, they have to replace the African zombies, because the African zombies can't be seen as anything negative because they are representative of multiculturalism. And that is the perspective they want to put out to the world. And this goes against that by showing African people as zombies or savages in the mind of the journalists and the people putting out this content. And I think that is the perspective that we have to see here, where Assassin's Creed Shadows has Yasuke, who is the triumphant, strong, and respected samurai, and he's a paragon of multiculturalism. And I think that is the dynamic that we're seeing here. And I think that is why these two conversations are so grossly different. And that is truly the hypocrisy of gaming right now, where if you don't represent the ideals of the people that are pushing out your content, they're going to attack your game. And I think that's what's happening with Resident Evil 5. It's being attacked because it doesn't have the proper modern day cultural values that they want to espouse to the gaming market. And Assassin's Creed 5 has everything they want to see be successful in the gaming market, and that being multiculturalism seen as the greater good of society.
That's not how it is. Look, this is about escapism. Video game is a form of escapism. Before I give my opinion on this one, to the Eastern video games or video game developers, before you hand out codes, remember, do a background check. Some of those people who review your game will hate you. So think about it. If so, just give it to YouTubers, okay? Access media, unless if you have Asian reporters or video game journalists, you give it to them. So here's the thing. For YouTubers, you can give it to anyone as long as you do a background check. But for journalists, give it only in Asia. Only Asian video game journalists. That's a double standard, and I think for Resident Evil 5 Remake, I don't know, this is my conspiracy theory, Resident Evil 5 Remake is going to trigger another Gamergate. It's probably going to be the one that forces all video game journalists to review it or review any games made in the East, whether they like it or not. And most importantly, don't bring any politics within their game review. Because an IGN reporter says that they will reduce points, I don't know the pronouns, if there's a mention of the Gulf of America. And it will happen, only time will tell. So that is the hypocrisy. Most importantly, no gaming community trusts gaming journalists. Most importantly, IGN, Kotaku, GameSpot, The Verge, Rolling Stone. Since I don't even know Rolling Stone has a video game article, but that's besides the point. I think from now on, these game companies, they have to stop bending the knee to these Westerners. But fortunately, the East, they understand that gamers love it, even though they knew that the journalists hate it, but they knew gamers will love it. It's all that matters. They don't care what the journalist says. For Ubisoft, yeah, they're gone. I'm not talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Time to move on.
You were most impressive. Surely your military skills will help guide us on the path to victory. I look forward to your continued efforts.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want gaming news, theories, or you want to see me play games, or you are interested in trending topics. Visit my first, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.